We have a rodent problem at the Apostle P channel. Rats, to be exact. Here are a couple of fenders right here. Stay with me, guys. We'll take a look at the new Ontario Rat Model 2. Hi gang, Rob here. It's the afternoon of 15 December 2013, a snowy Sunday in Northeast Indiana, coming to you with a knife review. Shocking, I know. Here, I'm going to give you the short version. That way those of you who have better things to do than listen to me drone on for 30 or 40 minutes can get out of this review what you need to get out of it and get on with life. This is the Ontario Rat Model 2 folder from Ontario Knife Company, the 20% smaller successor to the Rat Model 1. Capsulated review. EDC blade, 3 inches long, 2.7 ounces. Great steel, great grind, great blade shape, super functional, strong handle, belies its size and weight. Action, unbelievably fast and smooth, around 30 bucks, maybe 35. Go buy one. End of review, short version. In fact, buy several. They come in lots of different colors. Make them stocking stuffers, give them as gifts, keep a couple for yourself. Okay, those of you who stayed around, let's get to the real review. For several years now, the Ontario Rat Model 1 has been a mainstay in the high value or budget EDC / medium-sized tactical folding knife market. A little over a 3.5-inch blade, flat ground, gorgeous drop point. Neat little offset, gets your angle of belly right down into the work. Fully stainless steel lined. AUS 8 steel, Taiwan produced. This my Rat 1 has been with me for about 4 years, has seen lots of heavy use, even camp knife duty, baton and kindling. I just about wore this thing out, baton and kindling, as you can see. My lock bar might have a little bit of an S-curvy swoop in it, which makes it lock up pretty late, but I got zilch up and down and side to side play in this knife. It's still smooth, it's still fast, it's still tight. You've seen my full review of this knife at some point in the past. If you haven't, go back and watch it. It is glowing. If there's one thing that has cost this knife pocket time, however, it is that it's a little chunky. It's a little large, it's a little thick, not super easy to access the pocket where it rides. And if I'm going big knife, I generally go a little bigger. If I'm wanting a smaller EDC blade, I usually go smaller. So unless it is an adventure, an outdoor activity, the old Rat 1 hasn't seen much time in pocket. And a lot of guys apparently really longed for this knife in a smaller size. And finally, it's kind of interesting too, because a lot of us thought that Ontario Knife Company's association with Jeff Randall and Randall Adventure Training had come to an end, and then we started to see all different colors of the Rat 1 made available. And then in early 2013, we saw this little gem, the Rat Model 2. It is that knife we had all been hoping for, isn't it? about 20% smaller. Blade length 3 inches. Handle length 4 inches. Overall length 7 inches. You guessed it. Weight 2.7 ounces. In a 3-inch bladed, fully stainless steel lined, super strong little EDC blade. Blade material didn't change. It's still AUS 8. Handle material still Zytel or fiberglass reinforced nylon. Pocket clip still 4-way positionable. Left hand, right hand, tip up, tip down. The lock is still a stainless steel liner lock. The pivot is still that absolutely delicious phosphor bronze washer and paper thin Teflon washer combination. The phosphor bronze rides against the liners, and then that translucent super thin Teflon between the phosphor bronze washer and the blade. I was trying to sort of show you how little thumb effort this takes. It's very hard to pop that detent and have the knife not open. Awesome system. This one's got a little Daiwa Real oil in it, but I'm not sure it's any slower without it. That Teflon is such a good lubricator. Construction is flow-through design with 1, 2, 3, 4 shouldered pillars that are D-shaped on one side where they go into the liner, so you can assemble the knife with only one Torx driver. You don't have to worry about them spinning in their holes. They are super, super tightly toleranced. When those pillars are in place with both liners, this knife isn't going anywhere. This particular offering is just about perfectly centered, and it's a good thing because if it's off, you have a hard time adjusting it by changing the attitude of one side of the knife to the other because it is well constructed. Kind of neat too. When they say 20% smaller, they mean it. Even the number of fasteners. On the Rat 1, there are 5 shouldered standoffs. Let's see, what's 20% off of 5? That's right, 4 shouldered standoffs. How about the pocket clip? They could have just stuck this big old clip on the small one like they do with the Endura and the Delica over at Spyderco, but look, the pocket clip, 20% smaller. How about the thickness of the liners? Take a look. Well, I would say they're approximately 20% smaller. How about the pillars? Yeah, you get the idea. The only things on this knife that stayed the same from the 1 to the 2 are the thumb stud and the size of the pivot screw. Those are the same, and frankly, the thumb stud looks just a little big on the Rat Model 2. Kind of surprised they didn't go with a smaller one. They did change the pivot, though, to eliminate some confusion. We have a female cup on the Rat 2 that doesn't have a Torx driver in it. The Rat 1 has Torx on both sides, but if memory serves, one of them doesn't turn. So I don't think you need 2 wrenches even on the Rat Model 1. But I kind of like the flush female cup on the Rat Model 2. Oh, here's something worth mentioning. One knock that the Rat 1 got was the nature of its jimping. It's there and it's deep, but it's not super sharp. Not to say that you're really going to slip, especially with the large finger choil, but it doesn't really grab the meat of your thumb. How about on the Model 2? Uh-oh. I'm not going anywhere. They made it just enough sharper that the thumb doesn't slip. Very interesting indeed. You know, one thing we all loved about the Rat 1 was its ergonomics. The great finger choil, the way your thumb naturally dropped onto the thumb ramp. Its ability to be choked up on, even without, an obvious forward finger choil. There's plenty of room for the index finger. The knife was good in all grips. It's comfortable in every way. How about the two? You know, when you make a knife 20% smaller that looks exactly the same, sometimes something's got to give. So let's look. Well, my index finger and thumb have that same great relationship. Now when I wrap my fingers in a saber grip, my pinky doesn't fall in, you know, inside that pommel area like it does on the one. It wants to be outside. I wouldn't say it's a full four-finger grip, but the pinky just gives sort of an anchor point. It's different. It is not uncomfortable. Still excellent ergonomics. Well, what about in the hammer grip? Now again, my pinky's a little bit off the knife, and I do have some space right here between the web of my hand and the spine of the handle. Probably not as stable in the hammer grip as the Rat Model 1. Let's verify that. Yeah, not even close. Much more strength right here in this area of the hand, the way the handle fits in the Rat Model 1. But that hammer grip, what's that for? That's for some super powerful push cutting. That's really not what you're going to use this little guy for anyway. How about the draw cut grip? Plenty comfortable. Even a reverse grip, maybe a little more comfortable than the Rat 1. What a beauty. And I believe it comes in, let's see, 5 colors? Black, foliage green, desert tan, coyote brown, and of course it is 2013 and it's a cute little knife, so I think it comes in pink. And I believe the blades come in this gorgeous satin finish as well as the Teflon black coated, painted black coating. I don't recommend it unless you like it to be scratched up. Don't know if these are offered with partial serrations or not. I just didn't look and it didn't occur to me till now. If it is available, I would suggest not buying it. In a 3-inch blade with what? 2 5/8, 2 3/4 of an inch of cutting edge. Just make it plain edge. Take my advice on that one. How about its operation? How slick to deploy is it? Are you watching this? I mean, not only do I use no wrist, I barely have to use any thumb to get this knife out. Amazing. Oops. I thought this was a little freer than this with the lock disengaged. I guess it could be a little freer. Doesn't need to be though. I had it dropping almost free with 0 side-to-side play last night when I adjusted it, but I don't really think I need to make it any looser than that. Gorgeous centering, gorgeous deployment, easy to release and get back into the handle one-handed. If there's one one sort of complaint I have about this particular knife, and this is Campfire Talk's knife that he sent to me to sharpen, brand new. The lock engagement is a little bit late. I suppose you could play around at disassembly and start interchanging these pillars because they are all the same. If you find the largest diameter pillar and install it as the open position blade stop, you might get a little earlier lockup than this. And that is kind of neat too, because as they develop flat spots from repeated use and that lock starts to slip over a little bit, you can just pull another one forward just like on the Rat 1 and sort of rejuvenate your lock engagement. You know, it's a little more than 50% engagement on this knife. And, you know, on a light-duty EDC blade, is that ever going to be a problem? I don't think so. It is very strong. I'm going to apply negative pressure to the blade now, and you guys see if you can see any slip. It just doesn't move. Super lock interface. I want to talk for a minute about attention to detail and quality of construction, wiping off the blade for you. Now remember, this is a molded plastic scale, fiberglass reinforced nylon. So you can't do any grinding, polishing, or machining on this stuff per se when it comes out of the mold. The liners on this knife are a glass beaded 420J2. There is not a burr to be found inside or out. They're nicely rounded on the corners. And look at the relationship between the Zytel scale and the stainless steel liners. There is nothing proud. There are no gaps. Of course, we do probably have brand new tooling. It's a brand new knife, but you can feel where liner stops and scale starts with your fingernail, but everything is just perfectly aligned. Look at the grind on this blade. The satin finish is beautiful. The laser etching is beautiful. Even, yes, could it be so? It is. Actually, a little sharpening notch at the base of that blade from the factory. Huh. Brownie points with me. Yeah, less than $35, guys, depending on where you buy this. As I said about the Rat 1, tenacious killing excellence. That means a vastly superior knife to the Spyderco Tenacious, and likewise, the Rat Model 2, a vastly superior knife to, what is that little Tenacious family, the baby brother. You guys have to tell me in the comments because I'm not looking it up in the middle of the video. But this family of knives from Ontario, vastly superior to the Tenacious line from Spyderco. In fact, those are price comparable knives. I make the case, in fact, I make the case strongly that Rat 1, a superior knife to a VG10 Endura, and Rat 2, a vastly superior knife to a Delica 4. They're just amazing little knives. Just amazing. Why do I not own one of these yet? I'll tell you why. Campfire Talk said, I'm going to send you mine before you run out and buy one. You got one that you can handle for a few days for free. So don't spend your money unless you really love mine when I send it to you. So guess what? I really, really love it. And mine's going to be Coyote Brown. I don't know if you've noticed, but Campfire Talk is a bit of a green knife guy. In fact, I'm kind of surprised he didn't find a Cali 3.5 in green. I think they might make one. Anyway. This might be kind of a short review for me. I don't have anything bad to say. Ontario Rat Model 2. Buy 4. They're small. Grace to you and peace, my friends, from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. And I think he did pay me to sharpen this or something. So let's see. The Word and Campfire Talks Rat Model 2 are sharp. Have a good rest of your Sunday, guys.